My first trip to New York. Hello everyone, my name is Bruno. I'm 25 years old and I work as a salesperson in a small sports store in Blumenau, Santa Catarina. I'm not the tallest person around, but I make up for it with my big dreams. One of those dreams was to visit New York City. I've always been fascinated by the city that never sleeps. The towering skyscrapers, the bright lights, and the endless possibilities, it all seemed so exciting. But there was one big problem: I didn't speak English very well. I was just starting to learn, and I was pretty nervous about traveling to a country where I couldn't communicate easily. To prepare for my trip, I decided to watch a lot of English language YouTube videos. I followed the channel, MyEnglishForEveryone, which taught English conversation and tried to repeat the sentences out loud. I also used a notebook to write down words I didn't know and another text app on my phone to write and practice vocabulary and grammar. Once I felt a little more confident, I started planning my trip. I applied for a passport and went to the US Embassy for my visa interview. I was so nervous, but the interview went well. The officer asked me some basic questions about my trip and my job, and I was able to answer them. When the day of my trip finally arrived, I was both excited and scared. I'd never flown before, and the idea of being so high up in the sky made me a little nervous. But as the plane took off, I looked out the window and was amazed by the view. When I arrived in New York, I exchanged my money for dollars at the airport and took a taxi to my Airbnb apartment. It was a small, cozy place in a quiet neighborhood, and it was perfect for me. Over the next few days, I explored the city. I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge, visited the iconic Times Square, and saw the Charging Bull statue on Wall Street. I also took a stroll through Central Park and watched a basketball game at Madison Square Garden. It was incredible to be surrounded by so many people from all over the world. I didn't always understand everything people were saying, but I did my best to communicate. I used hand gestures, pointed at things, and tried to remember the phrases I had learned. I was surprised at how often people were patient and helpful. When it was time to go home, I was sad to leave. But I was also proud of myself for taking this big step. I had faced my fears, learned a lot about a new culture, and made some amazing memories. And most importantly, I had improved my English skills. As I sat on the plane, looking out the window, I couldn't wait to plan my next adventure.